Hi, I'm Kent Moyer of the World Protection Group, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the use of the gun in executive protection. So I'm going to make a statement, and probably I'm going to anger some people, but in my opinion, the gun is the most useless tool in executive protection. That if you have to rely on the gun in this business, you've already failed. So what is the backup on that? Number one, how many times in the last 5 to 10 years have the Secret Service agent ever drawn their gun in stopping a bad guy when they're protecting the president? The answer to that question is probably zero. What I'm trying to make you understand is we use the handgun and guns as a tool, and it is a weapon that we do carry, and our guys are armed when they do protection details. But if you go back and you analyze assassination attempts and kidnapping cases, anything where there is a bad guy who already is attacking a principal, such as an example, Hinckley Reagan. In that individual case, 1.6 seconds, there were 6 shots fired and 3 people that were shot. In that attack, there were no Secret Service agent that were able to draw their guns and retaliate and stop Hinckley. The only way they finally stopped him is by going and grabbing the gun and tackling him to the ground. So our goal is when there is an attack that occurs and a person pulls out a weapon trying to kill our principal, the fastest response is cover and evacuate, get your client out of harm's way. In other words, when a bad guy pulls out his gun, starts shooting at your principal, you're already behind. So an attack is like a race. So the most important thing is you have to respond in the fastest amount of time. You have to create as much distance as you can, and you have to do it in the shortest amount of time possible. So it's a race, it's like a sprinter, and most of these attacks occur in less than 2 minutes. So it's important that the only response that the executive protection agent have is cover, evacuate, get the client out of harm's way, not stand there and fight with the bad guys. Another reason why the firearm or gun is not that important in executive protection is that all executive protection, one of the most important elements is what we call advance work. And what that means is that if a client goes to 5 locations, we've already gone to all of those locations ahead of time. And what we're looking for is we create routes that we're going to run, a primary, secondary route. We've already gone to the location. So let's say it's a restaurant in Beverly Hills. We've gone to the location, we've established where we're going to place the client in terms of seating at a table at that location. We know the front entrance, the back entrance, and how to get out there if there's a problem. We've also talked to the restaurant and maybe have a room that we would call a safe room, that if there's a problem or there's an attack, we're able to put our principal in that safe room until we're able to evacuate out of the facility. So all of our planning, we go to those locations and we develop what we call a game plan. And the game plan is that if something happens when we're driving a certain route or we're in a certain place, we know exactly what we need to do, and how do we get out of there if there's an emergency.